Welcome to the Personal Development Mastery Podcast. I'm Agi Keramidas and my mission is to inspire you to rise up, grow, stand out and take action towards the next level of your life. I interview leaders, influencers, entrepreneurs, authors, exceptional people who can and will inspire you to improve your life. Tune in for 2 episodes each week and make sure you subscribe to the podcast to get the episodes as soon as they are released. Welcome to the Personal Development Mastery Podcast, episode 123. In this solo episode, I wanted to do something different. I realize more and more how important it is to stay connected, especially in these times that we're in at the moment. And it's been over a year now since the podcast started and over 120 episodes, and I realized that maybe some of you listening have listened to my previous podcast, so it could have been a while. And I want to thank you first of all for listening to the podcast and for all the lovely reviews and comments that I have received. And I would love to connect more with you and find out more, hear more from you, and see what is it that inspires you the most when you listen to the podcast, or what challenges you have in your life at the moment. So from now on, every 10 episodes or so, we'll have a solo episode like this one, where I'm going to acknowledge your feedback and comments on the podcast. And I'm going to start today by reading some of the reviews that I have received for the podcast. And I've been blessed to have over 70 5-star reviews on iTunes, Apple Podcasts so far. And what I am going to do from now on is all the new reviews that come through, I will share them in an episode like this. And today I'm going to actually start with, I'm going to read 5 reviews that I picked from the first week of when the podcast was launched last year. And the very first one I will start with is the one by Willie1989 from the United Kingdom, who said, Agi is a fantastic host that has an ability to squeeze gold out of his guests. I love the nuggets of wisdom that are learned from every episode. Well worth listening to. So thank you very much for this review, and I will share with you very honestly that this ability to ask the deep questions out of my guests is something that I didn't really know that I had until a few years back. So more about that in following episodes. And the second review that I'm going to share is the one by R.J. Southworth from the United Kingdom. And he says, this is an excellent personal development podcast. The interviews are conducted very well and the interviewees all have great stories and lessons to pass on, as well as a variety of different perspectives and potential approaches to consider. Check it out if you're looking for a push to improve yourself. And that actually sounds very much the mission and the purpose I have with this podcast, of this push to improve yourself. The third review is by Zoe R. from the Netherlands, and Zoe says, I was impressed by the personal details that the interviewees shared with Agi. I'm always interested in people's stories, especially when these people are successful and have value to share. Obviously, that requires very good interview skills. Agi is a very good listener and makes great questions. And I will reiterate again what I said earlier on, that this is something that I have discovered about myself recently, and it's a joy to be able to share it with you at the same time. The fourth out of the 5 reviews I'm going to share today is by Priasma from the United Kingdom, and Priasma says, really enjoy listening to Agi and his guests on my commute to and from work. It is always a refreshing way to start the day and the week with a healthy mindset. Agi always makes it so relevant and has me in the new world of positive thinking and healthy mindset. This has made me choose to live more positive and meaningful life. And this is such a wonderful message to be reading. 𝗵𝗹𝗶𝗀𝗲, thank you very much for your feedback, and I hope that you're keeping on this positive, healthy mindset. And the last review that I'm going to share is the one by Ovidiu from the United Kingdom again. And he says, being on personal development path myself, I could say this podcast was the missing link for my journey. With ups and downs and uncertainty in my life, I now understood clearly that this is all about, not to be afraid to follow your biggest dream. These episodes are truly inspiring as they present great people that already have been through the self-doubt phase, overcome it, and if you're serious about personal development, you will find authentic motivation that will help you push forward no matter what. So a big thank you for me for these wonderful reviews. So I would like to hear more from you, and I will invite you. Of course, I'm always most grateful when I receive a new review of the podcast. So I would really appreciate 2 minutes of your time if you could do that for me. I have created a short feedback form on my website, and I would invite you to share 2 minutes of your time and give me some feedback on what you would like in the podcast, what you would like to have improved, and so on. The link will be in the show notes, or you can type personaldevelopmentmasterypodcast.com/feedback. And I will also remind you, if you're listening to this episode the first few days after it is published, remind you of the 5-day free challenge that Tony Robbins and Dean Graziosi do on the 11th of May 2021, between the 11th and the 15th of May. And if you haven't listened to the previous episode, 122, with Corinna Phillips, go back and listen to it. We are discussing this challenge in detail. And if you want to join the challenge, you can use the link personaldevelopmentmasterypodcast.com/ownyourfuture. This is the name of the challenge, Own Your Future Challenge. And the link again will be in the show notes as well. Thank you very much for listening. This was quite a different episode, and on the next episode I have an exceptional guest for you, and I'm sure that she's going to blow your mind. Until the next time, stand out, don't fit in, and please fill in the feedback form when you have 2 minutes. I really appreciate it.